Hi, how are you on your side of the world? Today we'll be looking at the RX 480 and the various manufacturer versions in this video. We'll be placing a particular emphasis on the boost clocks, aesthetics, lighting, backplate, as well as RAM configurations from the different manufacturers. So right off the bat, the fastest boost clock is the XFX GTR Black Edition, as well as the HIS IceQ X2 Roaring Turbo, tying them both for first place at 1338 MHz. In second place in the boost clock sweepstakes, we have the Asus ROG Strix OC and the Power Color Red Devil, both tied at second place with 1330 MHz. In third place by brand is MSI Gaming X, followed by Sapphire Nitro Plus OC and Gigabyte G1 Gaming. On a side note, the second fastest offering by Asus, which is the Asus Dual OC, clocks in at a 1320 MHz boost clock, which is faster than third place by manufacturer ranking, the MSI Gaming X. So Asus's second fastest offering is still faster than third ranked by manufacturer rankings, MSI Gaming X. So this list is ranked and organized according to the fastest boost clock available and also by different manufacturer brands. So this hopefully will be more intuitive for those seeking to purchase a card by brand experience as well as a preference for how a particular manufacturer has in terms of the quality control methods and your experience with that quality control method. In terms of defect or failure rate of your personal experience in purchases with that particular manufacturer brand. Hopefully you'll note that it's pretty important in terms of boost clock as an indicator for the performance of a AMD card, because traditionally in the past few years the NVIDIA has proven to be a better overclocker in terms of the graphics card in comparison to AMD. So this gives you a good indicator of how well the card will potentially overclock. And the overclocks are pretty important in yielding an extra boost in FPS. And as we look at the lighting, LED denotes that the light color is set. So if you have a XFX, for example, if they have a white LED, you can't change the color of the LED because the color is set. In contrast, RGB indicates that you have a spectrum of colors to choose from. You can actually set the color yourself manually as to what color you have, as there are red, green, and blue variations. So I'm not sure what the spectrum is, but you can choose any color in the color spectrum as the lighting for the RGB cards. And no obviously means there are no lighting options for those cards. So if you look at the list, you can tell off the bat the top cards have LED lighting. Whereas if you want to go for RGB lighting and you want a fast boost clock, you have to go for the Asus ROG Strix model. And the MSI Gaming X, as well as Sapphire and the other slower offerings, all offer the RGB coloring, maybe perhaps to compensate for the lack of speed in the boost clock. The backplate is pretty self-explanatory, and if you look at the backplate options, you can't really, from the list, denote which backplate looks better. So for example, the Gigabyte has a pretty plain backplate as do some of the other brands. So if you look at my slide in the video, you can actually see the backplates, which helps you get an overall idea of all the different backplates from that one picture. So hopefully that makes that easier for you. Here is the graphical visual of the different cards, so you can for yourself determine which aesthetic looks best to your personal taste. And obviously this is all very subjective, and in no way should anybody ever dictate or tell you what looks better. So I hope you have a good comparison of all different cards, but do bear in mind that the cards look different in person because of the various textures of the surface and finish. So it would be good to have a look at a video of a particular card if you're really interested in them, to get an overall view of the reflections of the surface to dictate what material they're made of and what the finishing is like. All the cards use an 8-pin power connector with the exception of the Power Color Red Dragon. This potentially limits the overclock of the Power Color Red Dragon, as the 8-pin supplies more juice and more power.